Why is it that 8 out of 10 agents fail in real estate? Well, the main reason is I think they underestimate what it takes. They underestimate the time involved. That is one of the biggest issues. I believe that agents come into the business imagining that all of their friends, all of their family members, all of their neighbors are just going to automatically do business with them. And then they're shocked when they don't. I think they also really underestimate the amount of time it takes every day in this business. I mean, if they're coming in thinking they're going to work a few hours a day, make a sale here and there, they are often disappointed because it takes so much work to get your business off the ground. You're an entrepreneur. You're a hustler. You're an absolute business owner, which means you got to get up at the crack of dawn and work late into the evening to get this thing rolling. The real estate business is difficult. There are tons of people competing with you for this business. And everybody that's going to list or buy are going to want to work with a professional, a completely dedicated professional. So the idea that you're just going to roll into this business and make sales here and there and live this life is a huge underestimation of what it actually is going to take. So long hours, knowing that you're going to have to work really hard to succeed. You're going to have to face disappointment, rejection, such gut punches that you're not even going to believe it, like best friends listing with other people, all these different kind of things you're going to face until you get your business up and rolling. So for sakes of everything, you're going to need a minimum of 80 hours, maybe 60 to 80 hours of work a week to get this thing rolling. It's tough. You're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner. You're going to have to work extremely hard. So don't enter this business unless you are prepared to do what it takes. Another reason agents fail at this business, and the failure rate's high, everybody. For new agents, 8 out of 10 agents fail. Think about that. That means you've got a 20% chance to succeed in this business. And one of the main reasons agents fail is they're undercapitalized. They have no idea how much money it takes to run a business. They have no idea even how much money they spend for their personal lives. They don't understand that your business expenses must be separated from your personal expenses, that you need a budget, and you need a budget for at least a year to fund the business and to fund your personal life. So you need to have a real clear accounting of what it's going to take. You have to understand fully the financial commitment that you need to make if you're going to enter the real estate business. It is exactly like every other business. It would be like if you were opening a store or starting an accounting firm or running your law practice. You would need money in the bank to both fund the business and fund your personal life. Most businesses fail because they're undercapitalized. And as long as you realize that when you enter the real estate business, you are a business, you are an entrepreneur, you're going to understand this very, very clearly. So make sure you have enough money in the bank to not only fund the business, and what I mean by that is the marketing expenses. I'm talking about gas for your car even. I'm talking about multiple listing fees, board dues, E&O insurance, all of the expenses that go with the business. Make sure you have enough money in the bank to support that. Personally, do a real good forensic accounting of how much you spend. What is your rent, your utilities, your insurance, all these different things. Make sure you have a firm grasp on your personal expenses as well. And finally, separate everything. Have separate credit cards for your business, separate credit cards for your personal life. Make sure that everything is separated so that your accountant at the end of the year can do a proper accounting so that you can get all the tax benefits that are available to you. Don't be undercapitalized. So another thing I find with realtors is they think it's like a hobby. They think they can be a hobbyist in this business. I love that term. A hobbyist in real estate. Oh my gosh, what a misconception. Nothing could be further from the truth. If you are not a fully dedicated professional, forget it. I have a saying in real estate, and it comes from another program, but the saying is, Half measures avail you nothing. In other words, you can't work half-assed and get half results. You have to be all in to get any results at all. So if you think you can work 25% of the time and make 25% of the funds, you're going to be sorely disappointed because it just doesn't work or equate that way. So either you're all in or don't even bother. The other thing is, I don't think agents understand, the pressure or the urgency of being an entrepreneur. Like, when you're an entrepreneur, when you're a business owner, you have to return every call, return every text message. You got to get up early, work late. You've got to be on point all the time. Think of it almost like a military operation. Think of it like a must do or die, because honestly, that is what this business is about. We eat what we kill, and if we don't kill anything, then we're not eating. So we got to get out there and hustle. So there's urgency, and you cannot let things sit. You cannot let decisions go undecided. You've got to be on it, or you will not make it in this business. Another big problem I see in this business is that agents get bored. They don't stick to their plan. They're always looking for the next shiny object. They want a quick hack. They want instant gratification, and every overnight success, trust me, is a 10-year process. I don't care whether it's in the technology world or whatever. It takes time. So you have to have a plan. You have to stick to a plan. You can't jump from this, jump from that, switch companies every other week. Because if you're looking for things outside, if you're looking for something that's going to fix you, if you're looking for the quick fix, if you're looking for the shiny object, you are going to fail constantly. So work with a coach, work with your manager, work with somebody, create a good business plan, and then stick to it. Stick to it. Just do it over and over and over again. You're not going to see results right away. You are not going to have instant gratification. But it's the people that are disciplined, that don't give up, that believe in themselves, that believe in their plans. Those are the ones that are going to make it. Another huge area where I see agents have problems is distraction. And distraction comes in so many ways. Like, one way so many agents are getting distracted is with all the industry noise, with all the political noise, following the news, getting all upset and concerned, imagining worst case scenarios, thinking the shoe's gonna drop, and they just become frozen in fear, and they sit there and just worry and worry and worry, and they think they're working, but worrying isn't working. Working is working. You have to get out there and work, and you cannot be distracted. You have to be like a fine thoroughbred in a horse race with your blinders on, and you're looking straight ahead, you're focused on your goal, and you're just going towards that goal no matter what. You're not paying attention to the other horses. Just you and your jockey, and you are going, and you're going full speed, and you're aiming for that finish line, and that's your goal. And it takes that commitment and that type of dedication and focus to make it happen. The other kind of distraction too is like what this agent's doing, what that agent's doing, what's going on in the business, and all of these different things. Forget about it. Don't hang out at the water cooler. It's fine to be nice to agents, and it's fine to share information, but it is not a social event. Oh, and this is a big one, everybody. This is a huge one. Agents, for some reason, postpone farming. And here is the issue. The name farming is for a purpose, because it's like planting a seed, and it's waiting for the seasons, and it's watering, and it's fertilizing, and then that first little green sprout comes up. And you are not going to have a harvest for a long time. And if you postpone farming, it just postpones the harvest. And so farming is always and will always be a key and critical part of our business. And farming means picking a neighborhood, and it means having a plan to dominate that neighborhood and to become the realtor in that neighborhood, which requires mailings. It requires being involved in all the community events. It requires being in charities. It requires holding open houses in your farm all the time. It requires being active on social media. It requires just being involved in everything going on in the community, driving the neighborhood, being visible, being like a politician, being like you're running for mayor of that farm, so that you're the go-to person for everybody living there, whether it's listing or selling, or maybe they just need to know a good roofer or something, or maybe they just want to come to your community event where you're hosting in the park, movie night, or something like that, but you are active and you are involved and you are consistently working that farm, knowing that neighborhood better than anybody, knowing all the sales, knowing who's moving, who's not moving, who's selling, who's not selling, just being the go-to person for everything going on there. That is the key in farming, but it takes time. And postponing, not getting started immediately is going to hinder you. And most agents, where they struggle with this is like, where should I farm? You know, what postcard should I send? What should the message be? What color should it be? Where should my font be? All of these crazy things that just get in the way of making it happen. Just get out there, do it, make decisions, and go. You can always iterate later. And part of that is, when you think about it, is a very funny quote that I love, that analysis leads to paralysis. And nothing could be more true than that statement, and I see it all the time. I had agents come in my office and they say, I want to do a farm. And I go, great, what do you want to do? And we pick an area together, we pick a campaign together. I actually sit with them, we lay it all out. I check with them a month later and they haven't done one thing. And why do you think that is? Because they are analyzing it. They're wondering, I wonder if it's going to work. Should I change the color? I wonder if I really like this farm. Maybe I want a different farm. And so they get all, what's the question? Undecided. They get all confused and then they don't do anything. And there is nothing more punishing in the real estate business than indecision. If you're indecisive, you are in trouble. Another thing, and this has really shown its face recently with the advent of social media and video, is people are afraid of what other people will think of them. They're afraid of putting a post on Instagram, shooting a video of themselves. You know, they're afraid of making a mistake, maybe getting called out or something. And so they don't do it. They don't do anything. It's better not to do anything than to have somebody critique you. It was so funny, I had a top broker one time. I made a silly post one time, I'll be really honest about it. It was a very silly post, and it was like describing the clothes I was wearing. And one of my friends and top colleagues responded inside my chat like, is that really necessary, Peter? And it was a little embarrassing when I read it. But then I thought I would just come back with a tongue-in-cheek response, and I said, probably not. And I forgot about it, and it was no big deal. But things like that can set people into a complete stall. You know, they just worry about that. They worry about public opinion. They worry so much about what people think of them. And one of my favorite things is like, you know, nobody likes pictures of themselves. Nobody likes to see themselves on video. Everyone is super self-critical of themselves. But what's funny about that is the photo or video we hate today, we will love in 10 years. So just remember that when you're being super critical of yourself. When you look back at your old photos, you're probably going, God, I look pretty good then. So have fun with it, go with it. And besides, unless you're not going out into the world at all, everybody sees what you look like anyway, so what's the big deal? And finally, the biggest issue I'm seeing with agents is really poor time management.